Yo, what's up, dude? Off season day 41. I was kind of having a few different little ideas and whatnot running through my head, and one of them ended up being efficiency on the trap line or trap line management, or just in general. And a lot of guys always take into consideration, having the properties, having the traps, having your locations picked out, having all your baits, all your equipment ready to rock and roll, everything's organized. What a lot of people I don't think take into consideration is time, like your time management with your sleep schedule. So how well can you function or perform on X amount of hours of sleep? I personally can probably sleep for about 4 to 6 hours and be good. I mean, for the most part. And I can do that for a sustained period of time. So I can go to bed at midnight and wake up at 5 and go, or go to bed at midnight and wake up at 4:30 and go. And one reason I don't know if it's one of the reasons, I guess there's probably multiple reasons, but do you have sleep apnea? Do you have trouble sleeping? Do you take care of your body? Do you drink enough water? Are you exercising? Are you trying to stay physically and mentally sharp? So those are something to consider. What are you putting in your body? Are you eating a bunch of junk food? Are you eating a bunch of sugar and just processed food, bullshit food that I know it's probably easy to get, but so are oranges, so are apples, and they're easy to take with you. Bananas are easy to take with you. I'm not here to be a nutritionist or your nutrition coach. I'm just I was just thinking, a lot of guys want to be efficient, but they a lot of times it doesn't get talked about or it doesn't get brought up, and it's the fact that you're putting out all these traps, you're doing all this time, you're devoting a lot of your financial resources as well as your time, and time away from your family or time away from whoever it may be. So to maximize on that, I would think everything from an efficient standpoint needs to be looked at under a microscope, and how can you make yourself more productive, quicker, pretty much a master of what you're trying to do. And when I say master, I mean just a master of getting your schedule down, getting your sets put in, stuff like that. I'm not saying you're a master trapper. I'm just saying you're getting your all your ducks in a row, pretty much. But some of those ducks, but the ugly duckling is, in my opinion, what a lot of people don't think about, and that's your sleep, that's your physical health, mental health, and your overall well-being. And it also goes into account with your overall financials. So having X amount of money saved up for a rainy day, for say your truck breaks down, you have to have bills paid in advance because maybe you get laid off in the winter, and you don't work in the winter because you trap, but yet maybe you haven't found a way to make trapping as lucrative as you'd like for it to be. There's definitely money in trapping. You can definitely make some money in trapping. They always say there's riches and niches, and there's definitely there is definitely that. I wouldn't say go out there and try and do it to be rich. I'm definitely not trying to be rich off of this. That's why I work a full-time job and a part-time job, and then I trap in my free time, and I do everything that I can do with myself, with my situation, and I try and make it the best overall experience I can have with trapping. And when I say that, I don't mean that just for myself, but also for my family. I definitely don't want to put them to the wayside. I don't ever want to feel I don't want them to ever feel like they're to the wayside. But at the same time, this is very important to me, and it's definitely something that drives me in the fall and winter. And when I look at my trap line and when I look at doing all the things that I could be doing, and then I start to think about the things I should be doing. It's always good to make a list as well. And because you may not think you'll forget, but you might. You'll start to get a lot of stuff just snowballing on top of it, and before you know it, you go from having just a standard little bead of snow to having a avalanche, and you're like, whoa, where's my stuff? And if you just write things down, and not just writing your sets down, but like to-do lists, getting things done, checking them off, and that way, if you do forget, you come back to your list eventually, and you're like, oh, okay, shit, I gotta get this done. Okay, so it's good. I mean, it's good to have a good memory. I don't ever mark down any of my traps. I just can remember where they're at, and I think that's because I've grown very intimate with a lot of the properties that I trap on. As for when I go out of state, I would mark down a lot of the traps, but it would be how many are at this spot. And that way, when I know when I go in, I better have, if I put 10 traps in one spot, I better have 10 traps when I'm pulling it, and I can check that and mark it off. So little stuff like that, because you end up leaving a trap or some equipment on a property, and you're out of state, and you end up catching a couple, say you had a non-target or something. What if you caught a dog and you weren't there and you weren't checking your traps? Because, I mean, in your defense, you thought you pulled them all, but you didn't write down a list, or you didn't write down a number. I know some guys use like the Garmin GPS and will plot everything, which is a great idea. So whatever you want to do to make yourself more efficient, because you don't want to fuck around and be trying to look for 15 minutes for a trap. That 15 minutes you just wasted that. So now you're going to have to do that at every spot. It's just exponentially just going to keep growing and growing, and next thing you know, you're spending 15 minutes at 4 spots. That's an hour that you just wasted. So go ahead, take the time, use your head, and write that shit down. It might take 5 seconds, and you can have it all pre-planned and all pre-wrote out before you even hit the road. You should, anyways. You should know, like, hey, I'm going to Farmer Jones's, and I've got 2 stops there, and each stop has 4 traps. Okay, that's 8 traps total for Farmer Jones. When you go and get your shit out, you better be pulling 8 traps off Farmer Jones. So it's just that's just something to think about. The efficiency standpoint, that's something that really, really intrigues me. How can I be so much quicker than anyone else? Has that came out? Or are you trying to reinvent the wheel? I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm just trying to be the most efficient person I can be. Just like when using those screens. Someone said, why are you cutting slits in the damn screens? Are you trying to reinvent the wheel? No, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm just trying to make it better. It's like, now we have Goodyear tires. Back in the day, they were driving on fucking wooden circles. So no, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm just trying to improve, and I'm trying to make it better. I'm trying to make it the best it can be. You can say the same thing. I'm not trying, like with cell phones. No one used to use a damn cell phone. They used to all use the wall phones. I remember having the wall phone, and you had the spin dial. 1, 3. It's like, gee, many Christmas. Where's speed dial at on this thing? It's more efficient now. So that's what I'm thinking of when it comes to a standpoint of trapping. How can you become more efficient? How can you become more productive? How can you get more for less? How can you do more and have less waste? So that's something that really drives me, and it really excites me, actually. So anyways, I'm on my way home. I'm going to get a few things done at the house. I did get some more springs, so I did work on some traps yesterday, and did get all my creek stuff, all my water traps ready to rock and roll. So I'm getting excited, man, and I appreciate you watching and coming through. So I'll keep you posted, brother.